Welcome to the Daily Telegraph NRL podcast. Origin just a few sleeps away, but those that don't sleep, David Riccio, Brent Read, welcome boys.
Hello, mate.
Hello, mate. Good to be here. When am I like a? What am I, 18th man or something? I don't know. Like I don't know where I'm sitting in the team lineup.
The podcast pecking order.
No, not yeah. You could call it that, but the 1 through to 17.
Right. I think you're in the starting lineup, isn't he?
Oh, well, you're asking the wrong person. I don't know.
I thought this is your podcast.
Well, where's Buzz? Where's Buzz?
Well, Buzz has gone AWOL.
Where's Mobs?
What's happening, Buzz?
Mobsy will be back at some point. We've had lots of people ask around Mobsy. Mobsy will be back at some point. Maybe for the Monday show. Though,
did you just say lots of people?
We've had a couple.
Is that a couple? Okay.
Yeah,
I think you've embellished.
You'll be cold.
It is a bit cold out there.
Look, what about the jacket you've got on?
It's cold out there.
I think she's a Fonz.
It's looking very Fonzie.
You would know the Fonz.
No.
Well, anyway, old blokes, let's move on. We've touched on Origin. Your boy Nicho Hynes, Dave, will he play?
Yeah, he'll play. Yeah, no doubt in the world.
You've been around.
No, look. What I know is this, right? And fair enough. There's obviously it's Origin week, right? And anytime anyone so much sniffles, they're in doubt. However, my understanding of the Nicho Hynes situation is that, for probably the past 4 or 5 weeks down at Cronulla, I'm down there. You could say, we don't use this terminology much, Reedy, is the beat reporter.
Oh, you're the beat reporter?
I would argue that I'm the beat of the Cronulla Shark.
Yeah, you are, yeah.
I think you're the heartbeat. Yeah.
Thanks, guys. But why don't we use that terminology here in Australia?
Beat reporter.
Because you'd be Manly.
Not really.
And Mick would be the Dragons.
Maybe.
Oh, you'd be the Melbourne Storm.
Well, from a distance.
You're always the team out of Sydney. The out of Sydney sides is Reedman's
Anyway, sorry, took a left-hand turn there. Watching Nicho train.
He's the Tigers now, sorry. He's the Tigers.
That's his beat.
Yeah.
Nicho.
Don't give away sources, lads. Shh.
Lunches.
Don't you start with lunches. Anyway, can you let Dave finish, mate?
Hey,
please.
What about that?
What?
Well, they made an allegation against you, which was.
Who's they?
Let's move on. Nicho. So you're
saying he's going to play?
What's Nicho's week usually like?
It's slow. It's very slow to start the week, and it's a calf problem, right? So there's no point in putting load into a niggle early in the week. However, by about Thursday of the Sharks training week, he's full-blown training, right? He's doing all the team opposed session stuff. So, look, if he was to miss today being a Thursday session or tomorrow Friday session for the Blues, I'd be a little bit more concerned. I say we assess it on what happens in the next 24 hours.
What I don't get, Dave, is there's all this talk about they need to be training at the start of the week, and he's not training.
Yeah.
So immediately you're going against everything we're being told. We were told that blokes need to be training at the start of the week. Blokes need to be with the team the whole time. You get to the first training session, Nicho's not training.
I think it's under the terminology training.
You know what it sounds like?
What is training?
This is Blues in crisis time.
Oh, hang on.
There's confusion
what it is
in the
to
camp.
me is the fact that New South Wales are down to their third choice halfback,
and they need to roll the dice,
and then they need Nicho to play.
Yeah. Do they? I mean, Luke Keary's a good player.
Oh, I'd be intrigued.
He's a good player, mate. He's a good player. But mate, Nicho Hynes has been the form halfback for this season.
Yeah.
And
there's also a big question mark over him at Origin. Big question mark.
Well, of course there is, but it's played because,
no doubt.
But there'd be question marks over Luke Keary's played one Origin game. If he played one Origin game, they played at the
if you look around a bit longer, played more bigger games.
All right, so if Luke Keary's halfback, you're not sitting there going, oh, geez, it's highly concerning given how many concussions Luke Keary's had.
Massively so.
Yeah, so that's right. So you would find a crack at every halfback that we select.
Yeah, probably.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, you want to touch on crises. Harry Grant, the poor guy.
Mate, he ate a bad oyster.
Is he okay?
He ate a bad oyster. I think Pat Carrigan, you were on there last night, didn't you? Did he say he ate a bad oyster?
He ate a bad oyster.
Yeah, he'd be fine, Harry.
Okay.
He's good as gold, mate.
Training
He's coming
today,
off the bench anyway.
Should we play?
Ben Hunt's starting.
What?
He needs to punch out 20 minutes.
20 minutes.
30 minutes.
No, they'll play on the field together.
Okay.
The 20 minutes that he sits on the bench will give him 20 minutes extra time to recover or something?
No, he doesn't need to play as long. Nicho needs to play 80 minutes. There's a difference there. Is there not? Sorry. Is there no difference?
So let's have a little fun. What's next on the Queensland training camp? Will have someone fall out of a bed, or what's next?
Oh, Dave Taylor.
What's going on there? What do you think? Will we have another one? Will we have another, Maroon in doubt before game one?
Probably, yeah. Yeah, we probably will. Because that's what we do.
Why?
We beat the odds.
Why beat the odds?
We're the underdogs.
How do you expect Queensland to play, Reedy?
I think they'll play expansive. Because I think that's the way you look at this New South Wales team. For me, it's built to
bump and grind.
It's size, power, and I think if you take them on in that department, you're not as big or potentially powerful as they are. So I think maybe you've just got to hold the middle of the field, and then I think they'll be slick and they'll beat them with the speed and their slickness in the outside backs. That's what I think. I don't know though, Mick.
I think it was Gordy last night that made the point that the teams are like their coaches.
Yeah, a little bit. That's
in a way,
point,
you watch, we know who Madge has picked, Cam McGuinness and Jake Trbojevic as captain and, the big backs and these guys that are just going to roll their sleeves up and get dirty and try and power through Queensland. And Queensland, like Billy, have gone for a bit of flair and a lot of pace. Yeah. And they're really exciting side. So it is a contrast in battle.
It is
of tactics.
Even down to the bench, you look at that bench. New South Wales have gone with 4 forwards, and Queensland got Harry and Cobbo on the bench. Completely.
The only one that's probably missing in that would be Fafita, right? If we're talking like X factors and
they've gone on completely different tangents in terms of their bench selection. So I think it's going to be a real contrast in game plans and game styles.
Yeah, it's a without doubt attack-minded coach versus defence-minded coach. That's what it is, and that's talking to everyone inside both camps. They realise that. And if you go way back to the start of the year when it first popped up that maybe Billy Slater's looking at carrying Reece Walsh and Kalen Ponga in the side, that's when you know how attack-minded Billy Slater is.
Wouldn't that have been something? Those two blokes playing. Yeah. I mean, Selwyn's pretty exciting as well, right? So it's not as if that's not intriguing.
Boys, my understanding of the Selwyn situation is that I'll try and grab the numbers as we talk, but there's a little bit of a concern within the Maroons back line of how many games they've actually played in the last 6 weeks. I'm referring to...
Hamaso hasn't, in terms of injuries.
They've missed games, right? And so there's a little bit of a concern that back end of the mash, they could start to feel the pinch of an Origin game, and that's where Selwyn could come in on some cover. There's no direct plan for Selwyn at this point in time, but cover in the outside backs is clear. That's one. Yeah. But it hasn't been mentioned, the fatigue element. I'm trying to find that. I'll get the numbers.
Well, you're either a genius or
a goat.
Well, when you if New South Wales lose Nicho in the first 30 seconds, whatever the case may be, then New South Wales bench looks a bit silly. Yeah. If Stellan Cobbo sits on the bench for 80 minutes, then and New Queensland lose, then people will be critical of it. So,
it's
but if they lose an outside back in the first 2 minutes and Cobbo's there, then you go, well, look, so.
But if that doesn't happen, Mick, it's quite intriguing how they use him, because they've always used that. They've often used that role where they stick it back on in the middle of the field. Ben Hunt's played it, Kalen's played it, Cooper Cronk. Yeah. Whether you can do that with Cobbo, I mean, he is a big body cell and he's a big dude.
So Hamaso's missed 4 games this season. Tuolangi has missed 4 games this season, and Xavier Coates has missed 2 games this season, and more importantly, recently. And so. Just a little bit of cover is Cobbo in relation to just that these guys haven't been playing consistent footy.
And then, Dave, you had the story yesterday around the 18th man, and a lot of the focus has been on Matt Burton, but Felice Kafusi as well won't play for the Dolphins this week because he's 18th man for Queensland. What are your thoughts on the 18th man not being eligible to play for their club side?
I can see both sides of the story, and I really feel for the Bulldogs, and the Bulldogs' frustration comes from the fact that this is the 3rd time for Matt Burton,
and hasn't got on the field either.
That hasn't got on the field. Yeah. So when I say that, listeners and viewers, this is the 3rd time Matt Burton's been named 18th man for the Blues, and hasn't been available to play for Canterbury, nor has he got on the field for the Blues. So their argument is, what's the point of carrying Matt? Now, the flip side of that is nobody knows if you're going to need your 18th man. right? And to be fair, it should be a new title called the emergency player, because that's what he is. He's there in case of an emergency, and the Bulldogs are on this trajectory of attempting to make the finals for the first time in a long time. They play the Newcastle Knights on Friday night, and they would desperately love to have Matt Burton there, but they have to watch their star player just train.
Yeah, I
I've got no issue with this.
I don't like it.
Why? What happens if he plays this weekend, goes out, gets injured? Right, they've selected him as 18th man. He's there because he's the best player. If someone's ruled out, which could happen, or if during the game if someone's ruled out, he could come on. He's the best player to fill that role.
If Nicho Hynes goes down, he's not playing.
No, but
Luke Keary's playing, and Luke Keary will go back and play for the Roosters.
But even what if one of the centres goes down, or what about during the game if something happens during the game? He comes on, someone gets knocked out during because of foul play.
What if Nicho Hynes goes down next Monday?
What about it?
Luke Keary's just played for the Roosters the day before.
Okay. But they'll make a decision before Friday, before the game, I'd imagine.
But what if he goes down on Monday?
Will they go for Matt Burton, or will they go for Luke Keary?
I'd imagine they'll bring Matt Burton in, won't they?
Well, they're going to have to because they've burnt the 19th man of who's the cover for Nicho Hynes, Luke Keary.
Which is good. They've got one up their sleeve. Imagine if they both played this weekend.
Reedy, you can see it's a flawed system. You know that. It's flawed.
I have no issue with it.
I just think
no issue.
The fact that the 18th man is cover for not the most significant player on the field, the 19th man is?
Yeah, but
I get that. I understand that, but I don't.
So maybe the point is that New South Wales have bungled their selections of the 18th and 19th
Wouldn't
man.
be the first time.
No. They got different roles. Like
Burton covers a lot more positions than Luke
They've
Keary.
got different roles.
I get that.
I think that.
But what do you think they should do? Let him go back and play for Canterbury?
Yes, I do.
Then he gets injured. What happens then? They've got to find another one. Man.
There's about how many teams have the bye this week?
That's right.
Yeah, but you can't limit New South Wales to only picking guys from teams that play the bye.
What's wrong with Clint Gutherson?
I'm talking about Felice.
He's barely played.
All right, I'm just saying there's going to be players that he plays.
But Matt Burton's the best bloke to fill that role.
But you look at Queensland are going for Felice Kafusi on the bench as 18th man, right? Is he the best?
If he's the best man to fill that role, put him on the bench.
Felice is because Queensland carry her back on the bench.
I understand that.
So Felice is the best to fill that role.
I just think that there's enough players in the competition to pick that the club sides clubs are already decimated through Origin and the like, and then you're gonna have a player not play.
Who Canterbury playing?
Newcastle.
Okay.
But I'm not just talking about Canterbury. I'm talking about the Dolphins with Felice Kafusi as well.
Who do Dolphins play?
Dolphins have got the Raiders on Saturday night.
Well, the Raiders have got a few out through Origin.
So
what's the issue?
Because they're selected.
They're playing.
So are these guys. They're 18th man.
So your argument is that Matt Burton should be on the bench. And I wouldn't have a problem with your argument.
No, that's not my argument.
Oh, come on.
My argument is that 18th man could potentially be as important as any role on the bench.
Well, you've been outvoted 2-1. So.
Okay. Voting on state lines.
No, I'm talking about both teams because the Dolphins are impacted here as well.
And I'm saying the 18th man potentially someone could get knocked out in the first minute. The 18th man gets activated.
I understand all that. I do get that. Yeah.
So then, how can you argue against it?
I just think that the fact that they're not, they could back up. They can do whatever. I think the 18th man for the NRL should be playing New South Wales Cup and be backing up.
Okay. Well, Origin's a pinnacle of our game.
Why can't they just pick the 18th man?
We've got to show it a bit more respect than that.
Why can't
you blokes disrespect the concept?
We just don't get it down here. That's why.
You don't get it.
We don't get
that
it.
is true. You don't get it. That is true.
You don't get it.
Yeah, that is true.
Because Felice will be happy to sit there and not play.
He would. You know what? Felice would be. He would be happy to sit there and not play. As I'm sure Matt Burton is happy to sit there and not play because he gets a blue jersey.
Hang on a second. I sidled up to Matthew Burton the other day.
Sidled up
to Matthew?
That sounds a bit seedy. What's happened?
At the media day on Tuesday.
Yeah.
And I said, listen, Matty, I'm doing this story.
Coming close.
On the 18th man situation. I said, mate, I know you want to be here with the Blues. I'm not going to question that. However, could you play Friday night and then be available next Wednesday night?
Yeah.
That's not a problem. No dramas.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
I've got no issue.
He could get injured. Then he's not available, is he? So, Anyway, it's a wasted argument because clearly the rules are the rules.
I know we'll get to questions later, but there's a question around the 18th man concept from, I think it's either IC or LC. It says, I've heard the 18th man in Origin doesn't get paid. Is that true? How is this possible? They get paid.
That's not true. Yeah, do they get the full amount? I can't remember.
So. I think they do, yeah.
I just texted Glenn Jackson at the NRL to ask him.
Okay, what is the full amount these days?
It's 30.
30 grand.
We'll find. We'll see if we get an answer by the end of the show. But they definitely get paid.
Yeah, they get paid.
You had a yarn today, Dave, around Las Vegas and the Las Vegas Raiders.
Yes.
What as we inch closer to finally finding out what these 4 teams are for Vegas, it keeps getting delayed. Well, Penrith's a lock. We think the Warriors are potentially in there.
Sharks.
And then we'll get to that.
So, look, it is inch by inch, but the NRL are cognizant of when they announce this, they really want to be able to drum it up and be able to say, hey, fans, this is what we've got. These are the ticket packages. These are the flight details. This is what's involved. Rather than just being drip-fed information, and fans know this, that the NRL, it can get frustrating when the NRL just announce a date and then you're still waiting in September, October, going, hey, what's the situation with the flight packages and all that? So the NRL are doing their best to really roll this up box and dice for one big announcement. Now, they are inching closer to announcing the 4 teams, and it is the Raiders that are firming. I'm not saying they're over the line, but they are certainly firming as a major contender to be one of the 4 clubs. You're right, Mickey. Penrith, the Warriors, and it's down to the Sharks, Raiders and Storm, I understand, for that 4th spot. Now, the Cronulla are confident, or have some confidence. The Melbourne Storm have some confidence. And as I said, as I learned yesterday, the Raiders have some pulling power and some nice synergy, guys, with the Las Vegas Raiders.
Synergy, right?
Like that, yeah.
And one of the key factors is, and when I'm talking about the teams, what the NRL want is they want fans to be able to travel. They want clubs that are well supported.
Yeah.
And will your fan base travel is the question every NRL club is being asked by the NRL. And each of those clubs that I've mentioned, I think we saw in Magic Round the support that the Raiders get. They basically have their own entertainment package with the Viking clap.
Yeah.
So there'd be a huge contingent of Raiders fans that would be keen. For me, guys, I think the Melbourne Storm are questionable on how many Storm fans would travel.
What would you like?
They're your beat, so...
the beat report for the Storm.
Vegas.
They've got fans. They've got an average crowd down there of over 15,000. And one of the most well-supported teams in the NRL. Fans would travel.
Magic Round is always a good...
And you know what? Melburnians will go. Even if they're not Storm fans, they'll go for the
You're speaking for Melburnians now.
Yeah.
Little Collins Street.
Yeah, that's right. You've been there.
Chapel Street.
Good coffee
do you guys
down
care who goes?
No,
not really.
You
just want to go, don't you?
Well, I'm due.
Oh, mate, Mick, the fans...
No, the
fan base of that club.
No.
Yeah.
I meant 100%. The fans want to know who's going, and they want to organise and wait for their team to be playing there before they potentially go. And they're like, of course, it's a significant announcement, a significant story. I just meant from our perspective. Like, I don't mind if it's the Sharks or the Panthers or the Warriors or the Raiders or the Storm sort of thing.
No, I think you're right in the fact that when we covered it earlier this year, it didn't matter who was there. You were there for the event.
That's the way I probably meant it, rather than not caring who was playing.
I would say look, there'll be a core of people who will go regardless who the teams are.
No doubt. Yeah.
But
there were heaps of neutrals.
Yeah, but well-supported teams
have a bit more drawing power.
And there's talk about Warrington playing a Super League game as well now, right?
Yeah, that's right.
As well, so that's going to pull in the English crowd. There's some English people there, right?
A huge amount of English.
I'll tell you what needed to happen, though. I know it was so hard. It was a rush job. But sitting here at home, you guys were over there, sitting here watching it and speaking to people that were here and my mates and stuff like that, the NRL needed to sell those tickets straight away for next season, because we were so jealous. You're sitting here going, it's one of the few times where I'm sitting here going, I wish I was there. It was so cool. It looked amazing. The pictures on Fox were awesome. The coverage was great. You know, having 360 there and all the shows there and on the strip and stuff like that. There was just so much excitement.
Yeah.
And I'm a little bit concerned that it seems so long ago now that anticipation has dropped a little bit.
No, I think it'll
pick
fine.
back up, but I'm telling you that like everyone here was obsessed with it.
Would you drop it during Origin though? During the Origin period?
You wouldn't do it.
No,
not yet.
And while I did report on the Raiders firming, I'm getting no sense that we're going to get an announcement within the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, you couldn't do it. You couldn't.
The NRL are just are really keen to nail the whole package to present to fans, and I don't see how that
Origin either. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
The big
not
ticket
before
item
Wednesday,
at the
but I think there is a space between
the games. Yeah.
Between games,
definitely.
but they're not going to announce it on Monday or Tuesday of next week.
They got to announce PNG as well, Mick. Though. A lot of big announcements coming.
That will happen. You're the PNG beat reporter, or
you are. You're going to be their media manager, working on the compound, in PNG.
Tax free, baby. Tax free. Oh dear.
Funny.
Speaking of potential announcements, Parramatta and their coaching situation. Obviously, a board meeting last night where the coaching situation was naturally addressed. They're putting together a short list. I'm not sure if it comes out before the time. Like, they play tonight, right? So
it'll come out at some point, won't it?
It will come out, but I don't know if they're going to rattle some cages before tonight's game.
No.
They obviously have. I think the people that will get an interview will be Jason Rolls, Josh Hannay, Michael Maguire, Trent Barrett will probably be afforded an opportunity to formally apply for the job if he wants it. I don't think Trent will get the job, but he's in that interim capacity, and maybe an outsider like a Michael Checker or one of the case.
What's your problem with Check? He's one of the greats, mate.
I know they haven't even stepped foot to have interviews yet, but where do we see this heading, Reedy?
I think Rolls is probably the favourite for the job. Jason Rolls, I mean, he's been in the system for a long time. He's served a great apprenticeship. Craig Bellamy, Eddie Jones. With English rugby, he's been involved in obviously assistant coach at the Roosters with Robbo. I don't think you can do any more than what Jason Rolls has done. I think he's ready to go.
Well, you can, because Josh Hannay held the reins of both the interim head coach at the Cowboys and the Sharks.
Okay.
So he can do a little bit more.
Does he work with Eddie Jones at the World Cup? No.
No, he's worked with your man Billy Slater, though.
Okay. Anyway, I think those two are the obvious ones,
right? We can confirm that they're both interested in the job.
Both want the job,
So Jason Rolls wants the job. Josh Hannay has put his hand up for the job. Michael Maguire hasn't ruled himself out, unlike Billy Slater.
Madge just wants a head coaching job.
I reckon Madge is problematic, I reckon he's down the pecking order.
I think if you're asking,
I really do.
Do we think it's a Hannay Rolls shootout? Is that what we think?
I reckon so, Reedy.
Yeah.
Which
one do you go? Need I ask?
No, I've seen enough, and I love the way Billy talks about Josh Hannay.
Yeah.
I just think, and I can see what they're building down at Cronulla. And again, I still recall when Hannay had to hold the fort of the Cowboys after Paul Green was sacked, and also Cronulla when John Morris was sacked. He did a stellar job.
What do you think?
But I don't mind Rolsey either. I think he's a good appointment.
Who do you think's got their nose in front?
I think they're probably 1 and 2.
Which one's one? Rolsey?
But they haven't had an interview, right?
Yeah.
So
okay, that's fine. But I'm asking you right now.
I said last night I think Jason Rolls, but they haven't had an interview.
Yeah.
So it's premature to declare favouritism or whoever the case may be.
Not really. You can declare. Declare a favourite. You can frame a market.
Well, if I was framing a market, I don't know the odds very well. I'm not.
Okay. Well, who would be your favourite?
I'd have Rolls at 1.
There you go. You just declared favouritism. Wasn't that hard, Michael?
I'd have him at 1, but there's no These are just. This is.
I tell you what, if Baz gets the result tonight against Cronulla,
no, he's been there for 18 months.
I'm just saying.
If I'm doing odds.
Yeah, I'm just saying, if he gets the result against Cronulla, there's a little bit of hype around Eels can start to get on a run towards the finals. If Trent Barrett starts to get Parramatta going again...
Too far gone, I think.
I don't think he'll...
He may have a role there, though, under Jason. I mean, Rolsey and him are good mates, right, Mick? So, Jason gets the job.
I think you nailed a really good point. I think
it.
Either of those two guys, Hannay or Rolls, need to walk into the meeting and go, this is what my staff would look like.
Yeah.
And this is the way I would structure it, because if you look at the most successful clubs, it's their support staff that is so key to the success. We go back to Penrith, Serraldo, Andrew Webster with Ivan Cleary. We go to Trent Robinson, Justin Holbrook, as you said, Rolesy was previously there. Yep. Adam O'Brien was previously there. Now down at the Sharks, he's got Steve Price. He's got Josh Hannay. Yeah. Right, the support staff of a particularly a rookie coach.
Yeah, particularly a rookie coach.
I think it's absolutely paramount that those two guys walk in and go, this is who I'm thinking about.
Any issue with Michael Maguire wanting to coach Parramatta?
A little bit. I watched you guys last night and I sort of agree with Gordy. I mean, he did a 2-year deal with the New South Wales Rugby League. The series hasn't even started, and he's already been linked with an NRL club job.
Well, he's always
Billy's come out and said, no interest, don't want to be a club coach, I'm committed to Queensland. Yeah. Madge, okay, yes, he's committed to New South Wales, but in the background, he's lobbying for the Parramatta job.
I don't have an issue with it.
I don't like the look of it, Mick.
He was always going to.
Yeah.
I think he's just always going to. He's always going to be keen to look at some NRL coaching job again.
Well, get through your first series first.
I think he's actually.
Yeah, you can. Because that's not the only job that'll come along. At some point, another job will come along. It's rugby league. Coaches get sacked all the time.
I'm not sure another job will come around this year. Maybe.
No, maybe not.
No. Here's the thing. If Michael Maguire goes on and restores the pride of New South Wales by winning this year's Origin series over Queensland, his stocks rise.
Exactly.
Clubs may be on the precipice of, don't we re-sign our coach? Do we? I'm talking 25.
Yeah.
Making a call on their coach, knowing that the series-winning Origin coach from New South Wales is available. They make moves on their current coach to get Madge.
You last night said you don't have an issue with him interviewing between games.
Yeah.
I do.
Why?
Because what sort of commitment does that show to New South Wales?
Oh, what? Come on, man. Like,
come on, man, nothing. Let me finish. You're trying to coach New South Wales to a series win, right? In the middle of the series, after game one, potentially, you're interviewing for a job at somewhere else.
He coaches on Wednesday night.
That's not the point.
No.
I understand. It's not a...
This is the point.
No, it's not. Okay, it doesn't...
What days are he allowed to meet?
Wait till the series is over.
No, well, it's too late.
Okay, well then don't go for the job.
No. If the game's on Wednesday night, right?
I understand how schedules work.
They break camp.
I understand that.
So if he's at home on Friday, he can't go and have a meeting with Parramatta.
So that's a great look. So the New South Wales players, Madge is there, bang, we're committed to the jersey, baby, let's do it for New South Wales.
Did it during camp,
and in the middle of the series, you're going interviewing with the club about a club job.
If he broke camp, I'd be filthy with it.
Well, he's not going to do that. It's stupid.
Well, okay.
Right? He's not that dumb.
Okay.
But if you're in the middle of a series where you're trying to convince a New South Wales team that you bleed for the jersey, this should be...
He's not walking out mid-series. It's not like he's
interviewing for another job mid-series.
He's not interviewing for the Queensland job.
It doesn't matter. You're interviewing for a job to leave the role you're in.
So he's got to work 24/7 on New South Wales?
I'm not saying he has to be working on New South Wales. But don't go interview. It won't be one interview. There'll be more than one interview.
He might get knocked out first interview.
Do we know he's getting interviewed?
We think
he'll be on the list.
Well, there you go. You don't know.
He'll be on the list. I don't have an issue with him after Origin 1 sitting down with Parramatta on Friday or Saturday
fair enough.
or a Sunday.
Well, that's probably why you blokes don't get Origin, but anyway.
Here we go.
All right,
that's why you don't win. Anyway.
All right, can you explain to us what's happening in North Queensland?
What do you mean? What's going on there?
Well, murmurs.
About Toddy?
Todd, Jason Taumalolo.
Oh, the Taumalolo thing. That's strange, isn't it?
It's been simmering for...
It has. We've done stuff on it. We've spoken about it ad nauseum.
How bad is that knee? Like, that's what we keep hearing, that it's more of a knee issue that they're trying to manage rather than...
Well, they told us that earlier in the year. They said the reason he was... he only played 20 minutes, I think it was at round one, was because they wanted to nurse him through the year because of that knees, I think, bone on bone. So I mean, at that point, we were wondering, look, I mean, there was whispers going around they might try and medically retire him. I mean, obviously all's not well with Chase up there. I don't know where it lands because he's got, 3 years left on that contract on mega money. And, you know, he's probably almost unsellable at the moment. You're not going to be able to move him. So would not surprise me in the least if at some point they'll get through the season, they get to the end of the season and they talk to him in the NRL about, is there a way they can...
Injury retire him,
yeah.
What if he wants to keep playing?
Well, that's an issue they're going to have to deal with, aren't they?
Well...
What do you think?
I don't think it's sustainable having a bloke that's on almost $1 million playing a bit part in your team.
Yeah. How many minutes did he play last weekend? I didn't notice.
How long's Todd Payton?
He's actually been
to be fair, since he's gone back to the bench, he's actually had a better impact. I can
He's
check.
played all right?
I'll check what he's made.
Contracted.
Toddy's got. I think he did an extension, didn't he? He's got a couple of years left. Toddy.
I feel like it's going to have to take a coach
I
change.
think there were a few murmurs prior to the last couple of weeks about Toddy, but they've won some games now and turned the season around a little bit. So those murmurs have gone away. But Toddy, it's an important season for Toddy.
Since he's gone to the bench, 45, 43, 49, 33 and 34. The 33 and 34 are in back-to-back games that they've won. So, and, with an Origin ravaged forward pack, he's still on the bench. I don't know. It's an interesting one to see how that situation is managed. I think if it was a Sydney club, the scrutiny would be on a lot more. But having
you can't do it. You can't have it in your cap.
Not $1 million. You have to find a way. 30 minutes.
It's not. It's not sustainable. It really isn't. There has to be a tipping point at some point this year. You're saying at the end of the season, fair enough, maybe at the end of the season, but you cannot seriously be a contender with a 20-minute $1 million player.
I'll tell you what the issue is for them. Ruben Cotter's got 1 year left on his deal. He's on half of what he should be on. He needs a massive upgrade, pay rise. I think Reece Robson got 1 year left on his deal. They're going to have to extend him out. Right, that's where it's going to become a problem for them because their cap's going to be tight. They've upgraded, they've signed Nanai, they've upgraded Helam Lukey. I think Drinkwater's long term. Tommy Dearden signed an upgraded deal.
Val's still on huge money.
Val's on huge money. So that's where it's going to be really difficult for them. They've already lost Finafuiaki. Griffin Neame got a long-term deal as well, I think, from memory. He's got a year to go as well, hasn't he? So they've got to try and keep Griffin Neame as well.
Because he's been outstanding.
Yeah, and that's where they're going to have a real problem because that 950 that Jason's on, that would come in handy in keeping those blokes. We should do that as a column item.
Questions. Jake for PM. Where will New South Wales score points, boys? What's the strike in the New South Wales side? No, you don't answer, really, Dave.
I think they've got great points of attack. And Zach Lomax, and I know he's highly polarising, has moments in him. Moments of he comes up with something that other players can't. And I think a Nicho Hynes kick or a Jerome Luai kick for Zach Lomax with that brilliant leap that he has. And I also think Joseph Suaalii also has those moments in him where if you need a leap, if you need a flick pass, a step, a power play, power run, Joseph can come up with it. I think there's definite points in the outside backs for the Blues. And in their time of need, recall last year the Blues, Stephen Crichton, coming up with some big plays to get the Blues back into the game. I think Crichton's They've got strike. They've really got strike in their outside. I really like the appointment of Lomax and Suaalii.
Paul Brown wants to know what's the chances of Ben Hunt leaving the Dragons?
I think he'll leave at some point. I think he's got a year to go on that deal down there, hasn't he?
You don't think he'll finish his career there?
I don't think so, no. You think he will?
Well, he's 34.
That's right. Des is desperate.
He's 35.
Give him
36.
Give him a swan song at the Titans.
He's 36 when he's off contract.
Yeah, swan song at the Titans.
Not sure there's going to be a...
I think
you get him out.
I just told you. Swan song at the Titans.
Unless you get him out next year, I don't know if there's a market for a 36-year-old Ben Hunt.
You don't think Des would take him? If he doesn't...
We're talking 36.
Okay. Hopefully if he's still playing decent footy.
Hopefully by then...
I reckon in the next 5 to 6 weeks, if Saints are able to land a future-proof half...
might let him go.
Yeah, I just think that then they'll get through the Origin series, let Benny get through the Origin and make some calls around Ben Hunt's future.
But that's what it's got to be for next year. If it's not for next year, I think Ben Hunt finishes his career at the Dragons and might roll on 12 months after that.
So we're thinking he could leave at the end of this year. That's still a possibility?
Sorry, is he off at the end of this season?
No, he's got 12 more months.
No. I think he sees out next year's contract because whoever Saints, if they are able to land a young gun, they're not coming till the end of 25 anyway. So I think it's just changing of the button.
Think a chance at the end of this year or not?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think he stays at the Dragons, and I think he probably finishes his career at the Dragons for those reasons. That next time when he's available to start, he'll be 36. Now, the only way it can happen is if he goes next year, and someone gives him 2 years or whatever the case may be from next season.
What does DCE do at Manly?
Well, it's interesting because his form hasn't been great. He played pretty good last week, but his form up until then hadn't been great.
Vision of Ben Hunt.
He's got one more year left on his deal, right? DCE. I think they'll make a decision midway through next year. I don't imagine they'll be making an early call on DCE because he's 35 as well.
Yeah.
I love this email from this was on Twitter from Stephen Cook. How do we build momentum to remove 7 tackle sets for kicks that go dead or a caught in goal, quick 10-metre restarts and 20-metre restarts all together for knock-on in goal? Thank you, Stephen.
Is that your burner account?
I agree,
That's
Stephen.
your burner account.
What a
snooze
if
fest.
you weren't listening last
Can you
week,
answer?
Stephen,
Oh my God.
I'm with you.
Hey,
Simple solution.
Steve, I mentioned this last week. If anyone wants to write in about rule changes, I won't be discussing anything else except the disruptor. That's it.
Oh no.
Lucky.
The disruptor.
Lucky, Stephen. I'm with you. Simple solution, Stephen. If you boot the ball dead from outside the 20, it's a turnover from there. That is it. Gets rid of 7 tackle sets. Get rid of everything else.
Turnover where you kick the ball from.
Done. Simplest solution. So, because it was brought in to stop. So now you're listening. Now you like it.
No, I think it's nonsensical.
How's it nonsensical?
What did Jeremy write?
So what if there's a howling breeze blowing and you kick one from
the art of it.
50 metres out and the wind takes it dead?
Unlucky.
So they get the ball
Correct.
50... Oh, that's ridiculous.
How?
It's the dumbest rule change I've ever heard.
What's worse?
That's almost stupider than disrupt.
What's worse? Dropping the ball over the line in the act of scoring a try and conceding 7 tackles?
Yep.
Which is
stupid.
Absurd.
Well, don't drop the ball over the line. Hold
Don't
on
kick
to the ball.
dead.
Yeah, Reedy.
That wasn't what the rule was brought in for.
But you're saying that if a bloke kicks the ball dead from 50 metres, 60 metres out...
How?
They get the
60
ball,
metres out.
50 metres out. They get the ball 50 metres downfield.
Yes.
That's ridiculous.
Why?
That's the dumbest rule I've ever
just a
heard.
normal set, no 7 tackles.
Honestly.
You miss a field goal, 7 tackles set. You
7
drop the
tackles
ball
set,
over the
you start
line.
at the 20.
You drop the ball over the line,
It takes
7
you
tackles
3 or
set.
4 more tackles to get to the 50 metres out.
Move on, Mickey.
Yeah, I get that.
Move on.
Ridiculous.
Emails. All right. If Brett Ponga is on this week, I think that's you.
Who's that?
Can you ask him when does he hope his son is back?
Yes.
And are the Knights interested in signing Blaze Talangi for next year? All right. So how's
Andre Reed.
your man KP going?
Oh, no, he's brushed me ever since that story came out. I know I haven't spoken to him lately, or his old man, actually. I think he's progressing all right. I think he's getting close to return to the training track. I think he's still a little bit away, though, Kalen.
Hang on a sec. I think he's getting closer to the training
But I think
track.
he's a little bit
while
further
Yeah,
away.
well, to get to jogging and running and that sort of stuff. Getting on the training
He's
track.
all
you know?
over it.
All right.
Yeah,
So you got no idea?
I don't know.
You're allowed to say you don't know.
I don't know. No.
Blaze? Talangi?
Well, is Blaze?
Well, I think the Knights are in for Blaze
Yeah, I
Talangi,
think
yes.
they are in
There's
for
a
him.
little bit of a whisper that the Knights are in for him.
That's good mailboy, Jeremy.
Okay.
Is that another of your burner accounts or?
No, it was an email.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
I could just make these emails up, to be fair.
Anyway, yeah,
I could
they
make
are.
all
I
these
think
up.
we believe they are keen on Blaze Talangi. Yes.
All right. Chris, 30 years later, Queensland players still talk about the trauma that their state endured getting pumped by New South Wales every year pre-Origin. Yeah. I've never heard a single current New South Wales player talk about how brutal it was seeing the team lose 8 in a row.
Yeah, fair point.
I know New South Wales people hated that time and will never forget it. Why does it seem New South Wales players or coaches don't weaponise the history for our benefit like Queensland do?
Because we get Origin. You blokes don't really get it, and you've never got it. And it's not 30 years, it's actually 40 years that we had to, we've only started enjoying interstate games. We were traumatised by all the years before that. So it's 40 years. But no, you used to get our players, Artie Beats and when New South Wales.
Don't you just hate
dribble,
this time of year?
Oh, God.
Like, honestly.
Why?
Can't wait for next Wednesday night.
Well, you blokes don't understand what it was like growing up in Queensland.
Thankfully,
I'll tell you what.
Thankfully, I'm quite happy.
People down here don't understand what Origin means to Queenslanders.
No, yeah.
It doesn't.
You don't have much else going on in your life.
It doesn't mean the same. It means more to us.
It does.
It just
I
does.
agree. I agree.
You do. Thank you.
I agree because I'm more interested. When I was young, I was more interested in my side winning a comp than New South Wales.
We were interested in Queensland Origin. That's what mattered.
Dave, if you had, would you rather an Origin series or Cronulla win a comp?
Comp.
So that's the difference. That's why you don't get Origin.
So
case closed.
Talking about 30 years on.
Yeah,
yes.
40.
I was talking to Ricky Stewart the other day.
Because we're doing we can give a teaser for the weekend.
Yeah. And about that famous 1994 try of Mark Coyne.
Yep.
That's not a try, that's a miracle.
Yeah.
The famous quote from Ray Warren. Spoke to Ricky Stewart. And he says 30 years on, he is still so embarrassed.
See, Ricky gets Origin, though.
Yeah, that's right.
Ricky always got Origin.
Yeah.
Ricky got Origin. You don't get it,
Ricky
I don't know
does.
if you get it, but Ricky gets Origin.
I hope
You know what
Ricky's
Ricky is? Ricky's basically a Queenslander.
I hope Ricky gets it more than Dave and I, to be fair. The amount of times that he's
Ricky
played
got
and coached
Origin.
it.
Gus got Origin.
Yeah.
The great coaches got Origin. Does Madge get Origin? Let's find out.
Rick went close to
Freddie?
the Origin job.
Freddie sort of got it and then he lost it.
So you're saying you know more about Origin than Brett Fittler?
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying Queenslanders get Origin. Freddie got it. Yeah, Freddie got it. He played a lot of games.
Ricky's a Queenslander, mate.
Freddie just went a bit.
He's going to come
Any
and get
Queenslanders
you.
didn't get it? Like any Queensland coaches?
Yeah. Graham Lowe.
Wasn't a Queenslander.
Oh, dearie
He was a
me.
Queensland coach.
All right, so we do have Thursday night footy tonight.
Yeah.
Intriguing game.
I'm really looking forward to this game.
Yeah, I give
Mitch Moses back.
Parramatta a real
I tipped them.
shot.
Oh, they should be a real
I
shot.
give him a real shot. I just worry about how underdone Mitch and Clint Gutherson
But what
may
about
be,
the sting in the tail of Junior Borlo and Regan Campbell-Gillard,
Let's hope
completely overlooked by the Blues? I think they should be favourites if they're not favourites.
How many games does Mitch have to play to be right in the thick of Origin contention?
It just depends
for
on
Origin
if Nicho wins. New South Wales win, I'm not sure you change it.
Yeah.
If they don't
You
win,
can't change it.
The Eels are favourites.
If they don't win, then I think, and Mitch comes back and plays well, he's back in the side for game 2.
Yeah.
Depending on, Nicho could get man of the match in a losing side, right?
Yeah.
But I'm preempting if Nicho doesn't play well and New South Wales lose, then...
I think if they lose, it doesn't matter. I think Mitch is straight back in. Straight in, sorry, not
Depending on
back
how
in,
Nicho
straight in.
plays.
I don't
Okay.
think it matters.
I think it does.
I think one of the halves makes way. And Mitch
Potentially.
comes in.
Yeah, potentially.
If they lose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say if New South Wales lose, Mitch is in the team for game 2, provided he
It's a
gets
big
through
night
and
for
stuff.
Mitchy boy.
It's a big game. Big game. Cronulla got a couple of back with Braden Hamlin-Ueli and Toby Rudolph. They've been out for a while. That adds a bit of size to their bench. Keen to see how Braden Trindle goes after 5 matches out.
Yeah.
And I'm just really keen to see the Sharks' response after that woeful performance last week against Penrith. So, but boys, a question without notice. What's doing with Ryan Matterson? He was named in the 21. He just keeps on missing. I understand it was a virus or something viral
last week.
But few Eels fans are questioning where Ryan Matterson's future is at Para as well.
It's hard to make a decision on players' futures at the moment at Parramatta until the coach comes in and has that discussion. But he could be one of those that are on the way out. So Thursday night footy, what's dinner like in the Riccio household for a Cronulla Sharks game?
I'll tell you what we're going to go with. We're going with a massimum beef curry.
In the slow cooker or something?
No, I don't. No, we don't have a slow cooker.
I love the slow cooker.
I don't have an air fryer.
Wow.
I don't have a slow cooker.
Slow cookers are so good.
Yeah.
Are they?
Yeah, sort of.
They're just handy.
I do have that pizza oven. Now, did you go and buy that pizza oven?
No, but we are researching at the moment.
Okay,
we don't know whether to get your one or the next one up.
Next level up, yeah.
Do you regret not getting the next level up? We've been talking pizza
The
ovens.
Gosney Rock Box,
Because I
ladies
use
and
my
gentlemen,
Weber
one of the
to
greats.
cook pizzas, but
Wood fire pizzas.
Well, maybe we can get some feedback on anyone that's got these things, or if you want to
Gosney,
sponsor
if you've got a pizza oven of any description. If you've got a Gosney, Dave's recommended a Gosney, so we're looking at that at the moment. But if you can recommend a better pizza oven,
tweet us.
Please let us know. Let us know. But Dave's given the Gosney a huge rap.
What are you going with tonight, boys?
I'm thinking what I've been doing lately is getting a rotisserie out on the Weber. And doing a roast on the rotisserie.
Nice.
I might do a little roast chicken tonight.
How long does that take, Reed?
It takes about, it depends on the size of the chicken, hour 20.
Beautiful.
But you can put it on, just rotisseries around.
Is that what it does? What does it do? Did you sit there and watch it?
Doesn't it rotate around, not rotisseries around?
Rotisseries around. With a bit of lemon, garlic, rosemary in it, and it's magnificent, the chicken.
Well, it's a bit of mayhem.
It's very moist, the chicken on the rotisserie.
Yeah, it's
a bit
beautiful.
mayhem in our household. I've got 2 sick kids, so I think we'll be doing some sort of takeaway.
What's up with the girls?
They're just a bit crook, daycare. And
Yeah, they
stuff.
bring it home. They bring it
Can
home.
you help the missus out occasionally? That would help. Any chance?
Well, that's why we'll be getting some takeaway, I'd suggest. Whatever,
What do you think? What are you
whatever
thinking?
Clara wants.
Where are you going?
I'm not sure, but usually Indian, maybe. She likes Indian.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of Indian.
Come with the muscle.
It's too heavy.
All right.
It's a heavy food.
Well, this time next week, we'll be dissecting Origin, and we can't wait to sit next to Brent Read to look at Game 1. But enjoy this weekend of footy, and go the Blues.